Indeed, we are joined by the Small Business Development Minister, Lindiwe Zulu, and as well as her Estonian counterpart, the Deputy Minister responsible for Entrepreneurship and Information Technology, Mr. Vaino Reinart. We continue this conversation. Mr. Reinart, back to you now. So what are the areas to entry, or rather the barriers to entry for small and medium enterprises in your country?
Well, Estonia is one of the freest economies on the planet. So I believe we don't really have any particular barriers what the foreign companies would be faced with. So it's a free market. Well, please come and see us. Well, we wouldn't make it complicated for anyone willing to come and do business with us or willing to open their own business in Estonia. And I believe it gives you a huge advantage actually. So as being a member state of the European Union, well, you would have access to nearly 500 million people in a single market, so you would have access to the European Union single market.
So the government does provide an enabling environment for the smaller players in the industry?
Absolutely. So we would be happy to welcome the businesses from wherever the businesses want to come from.
All right. Now, Minister Zulu, now today's interaction, of course, will be done through the Chamber of Commerce. So how does a budding entrepreneur right now, watching at home, how do they take part in this?
Well, it's a closed session, if I may. It's not as open to everybody who's out there. But I think what's important for entrepreneurs out there, first and foremost, is to expose themselves to what is Estonia, first and foremost. What are the opportunities in Estonia? And fortunately, today there's a better way of exposing yourself. You don't necessarily have to be sitting in the meeting, and I'm sure those that are interested, they will be. First, this is a communication already, the fact that there is this bilateral relation between the two countries, and budding entrepreneurs out there will then go out and check into their website, and they'll check into any information that is available. But I think the South African Chamber of Commerce will have to take responsibility, and ourselves post the visit, just to mobilize and organize our small and medium enterprises and entrepreneurs in the ICT in particular, just to engage with us as to how they can even go there. We're even thinking of a delegation, a small delegation of business, small and medium enterprises in the future traveling to Estonia and vice versa. So it's up to the entrepreneurs out there to find the information. That's why I personally believe in the 2 and 3 years that I'm in office now, I'm amazed and I'm excited about how entrepreneurs themselves in South Africa are like getting up and trying to find information and beginning to do things for themselves, because they don't necessarily have to depend on government, but because of our historical past, because had it not been that the majority of black people were excluded from the economy, we would be very far away as South Africans. But we're not going to cry over that. We'll just get up and do what we have to do and encourage entrepreneurship. I would like to say to the Deputy Minister, I wasn't on Skype, but yesterday I made sure that I go on Skype. I have it on my iPad now, because I thought it's going to be very embarrassing meeting with you and I'm not on Skype.
Absolutely,
so
yeah.
I'm saying to the young people and everyone who's an entrepreneur out there, it's up to you just to really get up and do the best that you can for yourself. As government, we have to create the conducive environment. They're fortunate in Estonia that they don't have the barriers to entry. South Africans have got a serious problem of barriers to entry. Firstly is even in the value chain of what is being produced in big companies. It's very difficult for small and medium enterprises, particularly black women and youth, to enter in there. We've got a problem with finances. It's very difficult for them to get finance from the banking system.
How far has the government gone insofar as providing like the solutions to the hurdles insofar as accessing finance?
Well, we have, as a Department of Small Business Development, our Small Enterprise Finance Agency, which is SEDA, and we've got 55 offices around the country. And I know, as a matter of fact, that many people are complaining that they're not accessing. We are overwhelmed because suddenly people realize that they can become business people, they can become entrepreneurs. And so the flood of people who are asking for or looking for support are huge. But we're working together with the
bottlenecks as well for these financiers.
Well, we're looking at also partnering with the private sector, because if South Africa doesn't wake up to the reality that we all have to take responsibility, both government and the private sector, in particular in business, we've got to have big business opening up in their value chain so that small businesses can have the access. But I also think it's about small and medium enterprises that are competitive, that are able to sell whatever they have produced. Okay. And as a government, we are encouraging them to be as more creative and innovative as far as they possibly can. But we're not working together. We're working with all other government departments, and in fact, in the innovation space, we're working with the Minister of Science and Technology. And I must say, in the 3 years that I'm in office, I've really got very good support from government overall in supporting small and medium enterprises.
Minister Lindiwe Zulu, thank you so much for joining us. And Deputy Minister, Mr. Vaino Reinart, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, we were in conversation there with Small Business Development Minister Lindiwe Zulu, and of course her Estonian counterpart, the Deputy Minister responsible for information technology, Mr. Vaino Reinart. They will be leading a small meeting with the small business, with the business community, insofar as getting to know the areas of cooperation for both countries in business. Now, let's now take